Let's bring in former FBI Special Agent and Navy SEAL Jonathan Gilliam. Jonathan, I have been to this area. It's not like a normal golf course that you drive by in your daily travels and you can see the players playing from the road. The entire course is blocked by greenery if you're on a public road. So how did this guy know that he would have a line of sight to the president?
Because I believe he did surveillance. I believe he had somebody telling him or some way to find out what Trump's movement was. When you look at this map right here that you were just talking about, it is surrounded by roads that go right around it, and you step off the road onto the sidewalk and straight into the trees, and there's a fence right there. He picked a location, had time to set up, tie up, and fix ballistic plates to the fence along with a supply bag, a GoPro, and set himself up for the shot. That takes, I mean, if he just ran up there and did it, it would take at least 5 minutes to do that. But he also staged his vehicle so he could get away. So all that occurred in the perimeter in a location where Trump was going to be. And just like in Pennsylvania, it was not discovered. The perimeter was not secured, and this individual was able to go, simply just get out of his car and walk over there. Now, whether or not he staged it earlier, we don't know. But the reality is he was able to set up a shooter's hide and prepare himself for the shot and let the president get within max effective range of that SKS, which is a Russian AK-47. And he could have, if that Secret Service had not had seen him and the president got a little bit closer, he could have taken the president out yesterday.
Yeah, and Jonathan, how do you feel about, what are your thoughts on the suspected gunman? He even spoke to the New York Times recently, and apparently he was on this personal mission to form an army of his own to defend Ukraine, and he even traveled to Kyiv to do just that. And the Washington Post is also reporting that he wrote a book last year, and he alluded to the fact that he supported Donald Trump in one of the elections, but regrets it. And there's even one line in this apparent book. He says, "You are free to assassinate Trump as well as me for that error in judgment." So what are your thoughts on the potential political motivation here behind all of this?
You know, I think the left, and I say this with all sincerity, I believe the left is a national security threat to this country. I mean, you look at everything that they do, whether it is destroying the children's minds in the education system with this gender grooming, whether it's killing the southern border and allowing whoever wants to come over and get handouts from the government, propping up and promoting violence against conservatives. Let's just look in the past few years. The congressional baseball game where Scalise was shot, that individual was a leftist, Bernie Sanders supporter, shot a congressman with the same type of rifle, an SKS. I find that strange. You have the shooter in Pennsylvania. We don't know what his politics were because we haven't found anything from the FBI, that we haven't been told anything. He was able to use an AR-15 and get within 130 yards of the president, former president. And then we have this individual using the same type of gun as the individual who shot up the congressional baseball game, gets within 400 yards. So, and all of these individuals, as far as we can tell, at least two of them are far left individuals. Many of the school shooters that have killed numerous children in schools have been transgender, which means they've been confused by the left's grooming policies in schools. There is a major issue here that everybody is missing because they're trying to be politically correct, and that is the fact that the left is a national security threat, that these types of actions that are being taken are not just being taken because this guy doesn't like Trump. It's the basis in which he doesn't like Trump, because Trump didn't support some of his ideals, which are leftist ideals. And that seems to be a reoccurring issue, along with, from an investigative standpoint, these perimeters that are never secured. And it's local law enforcement's fault, and it's also the Secret Service's fault. But these individuals are being allowed to get within max effective range of the weapons that they choose. And that alone is suspicious to me, and it is unbelievable that that can happen to Trump, who's already been shot once let alone anybody else that the Secret Service is protecting. It's just something needs to change when it comes to securing the perimeters, or else my suspicion is going to continue to go sky high, which it is right now.
And Jonathan, my main concern going forward, one of them, I'm pretty worried that a foreign actor along the lines of what you were saying is going to see how close these two presumably lone individuals got to the President of the United States and say, hey, if we flood the zone with 2, 3, or 4 foreign actors, they could succeed in the mission to take him out. And that is a chilling and terrifying thought, Jonathan.
Yeah, so thank God the Secret Service. Jonathan, really quickly, we got to wrap it up here, but go ahead. Final thought to you.
Yeah, just one thing. If enough people who support Trump and support freedom in this country, they could have gone out and surrounded that golf course themselves. We could do that, either being hired to do that or just going out and saying, you know what, we're going to get a group of people together and we're going to walk around where he's at on the outside perimeter. And you would have done a better job because you would have probably spotted this person. I can't understand why law enforcement isn't doing this. And if Trump wants to hire myself or other people like me, I'm not just saying that to get a plug,
right,
but there's people out there that can just do perimeter security, and we would stop on all of these issues.
Yeah, well, thank God that Secret Service